All right, check out what was caught on camera. Video from the family of one of our WFMY News 2 directors. Look at this. His parents caught this guy walking up and down the balcony of their Blowing Rock home as if he pays rent there. He's going to hang out. While he did not mess with anything this time around, bears do frequent the area often, which got us wondering, does insurance cover damages from wildlife? Well, here to answer the question and more is Christopher Cook from Alliance Insurance Services. You can text your insurance-related questions to the number that's at the bottom of the screen, 336-379-5775. All right, we just showed the video of the bear roaming around. This bear was polite, I will say. But what about if the bear decided to take out part of the balcony or, throw off all of your porch stuff that you had there? Would insurance pay for it?
Well, without sounding like too much of an insurance dork, and I definitely don't want to say depends, most likely, yes.
Okay, so let's kind of talk about that some. So if it's like some kind of damage to the, like the porch or that kind of thing.
Yeah, so the damage to the house, the property, the structure itself is going to be covered whether you have a standard homeowners policy or one of the enhanced homeowners policies in our state. Insurance companies would call those an HO5 or an HE7. They're just enhanced contracts. The contents may or may not be covered depending on the type of policy you bought. I would just caution folks to make sure they understand if sometimes we go for cheap and we give up coverage in that instance.
All right, so it definitely would cover it if it definitely hit something in the house or the porch or that kind of jazz.
Busted window, tore the steps down somehow, busted through the deck rails, things of that nature. You got into your home and tore all the carpeting up, something like that for sure.
All right, now my question is this. Most of us don't have bears roaming around in our backyards and stuff like that, but we do have other things like moles or raccoons or bats or that kind of stuff. What happens with insurance and those kinds of animal issues?
Yeah, that's when it gets tricky, because if it's a maintenance issue or something that's been going on for a long time, insurance claims, you and I've talked about this before, and I've used the term often, sudden and accidental. A deer crashes through the front door of your home because you've got a nice pretty glass door and it gets confused, and that's sudden and accidental. Vermin damage over a long period of time, that gets into a really tricky gray area that most of the time, if it wasn't sudden and accidental, it was something that you didn't do proper maintenance on your home or you were gone for a long period of time and this damage occurred, that would not be covered by insurance.
Or you just weren't paying attention, like if the rats kind of eat through some part of your garage. Obviously they didn't do that just now. They've been doing that for weeks.
Yeah.
That is not covered. Okay, so let's talk about this because a lot of times people say, hey, you know what, my AC went out in the middle of the summer, it's an emergency. Shouldn't my insurance cover that?
Not typically. That's a mechanical issue with your air conditioner unit. Now, we do see lightning strikes cause AC damage, and that there are times that a wind, hail, lightning, fire, vandalism do damage your unit. A decade ago, we went through copper thieves, and that was covered by homeowners insurance. But a 20-year-old air conditioner unit that just failed under the pressure of the summer temperatures, your homeowners insurance policy isn't a warranty on the mechanical items in your home.
Yeah, and I think that is something that people don't probably think about. It's not a warranty. It is something that happens for things that are accidental and emergency. And lots of emergency things happen. So let me just say this. What happens when it's our fault, when the emergency things happen? And I'll give you an example. So I know someone who had some flaming taco shells in their toaster oven, and instead of tossing it outside the house, walked through the entire house with flames spilling out all over the carpet. When that happens, does insurance cover it?
It does. This isn't the most polite thing to say, but I say we insure stupid all the time. I've made the mistake of backing into my own garage door. That was real fun. That was just not a very smart thing to do, but that is a covered thing on an insurance policy.
And that's because that happened an immediate, and it was an immediate emergency. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about weather, because weather happens all over the place, and everybody kind of goes, all right, what happens when the tree hits my house and it's not my tree and it's my neighbor's tree, and who is paying for all of the damage to my house?
The damage to your house is paid for by your homeowner's insurance policy 99% of the time. There are a few exceptions, and our viewers will ask those questions, and we know that, but the damage to your home is covered by your homeowner's insurance policy.
Okay, so it's not like you're saying, hey, you need to cover it for me. You call your insurance company when you see that tree damage.
Yep.
All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
And so, same thing if your neighbor says you need to pay for the tree damage from the tree that hit my house from your yard. Usually the answer is, nope, that's you.
Yeah, the damage is on you. And, you also have the question, we've had a lot of severe weather lately. If a tree falls and doesn't hit anything, over half the insurance policies in this state would not pay for that tree cleanup. Now, if the tree hit a fence or a mailbox or it's blocking your driveway, it's doing some structural things, the homeowner's insurance policy does. So that gets into a tricky area as well, and I realize why people have so many questions about downed trees, especially when it comes to lightning strikes or severe winds.
Right, so if it doesn't damage something, then it's kind of just on you to chop it up and get it out or pay for that to happen.
Homeownership's not as fun as everybody thinks it is.
I know, right? So true. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We want to make sure that you get your insurance question answered. 336-379-5775. We'll be right back.